Hey y'all, how are you? We're in the house now, not in the snow. Is it snowing where you're at? It is still snowing here. We're still around 16 degrees. So we came inside and I want to talk to you about hunting and gathering in 2022. If you've been out getting your groceries and all those things before the snow and ice came in whatever area you are in, then you know groceries are scarce when it becomes crazy weather or people get scared or things like that. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that, how you can hunt and gather not in the store. What are you going to do? Where are you going to find your groceries? And so, as you know, we are moving, and I am a nomadic type of person. If you follow my channel at all, you know I have a gypsy van. I like to travel up and down the coast of Texas. I like to travel in the hills of Missouri and Arkansas, up in the Ozarks. And I'm going to show you how to gather food in 2022. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it right now. Some of the things that you could do. The season, if you gather your food by the seasons, the season for seafood and vegetables and things like that is coming up. Right now it is February. It is time to get your onions in, your potatoes in most areas. The onions should go in on Valentine's Day in most areas, southern areas anyway. And your potatoes go in on St. Patrick's Day in most places. You'll have to check your guides to see. I'm gonna scoot that back a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. Anyway, check your almanacs, check with your extension agencies, and the nursery sometimes can tell you. Get your little planning guides and find out. But it is time very quickly to get your onions and potatoes in. If you had nothing, or just because you like it, potatoes and onions in a cast iron skillet, on the campfire if you have to, or on the stove if you're lucky, are fantastic. And it'll fill your belly. So, how are you going to gather? How am I going to gather? Let me tell you how I'm going to gather. Like I said, it's fixing to be the season to gather your seafood, to fill your freezers with. I am going to be traveling down to the Gulf Coast in February and in March. And we're going to start gathering the seafood. So you could get your fish, definitely, in February and March. Around May, down on the Gulf Coast of Texas anyway, Texas, Louisiana, that kind of area around May will be a good time for crabbing. So you can go get all your crabs. Nothing better than crabs with some butter and Old Bay on the barbecue pit. They're fantastic. Or you can make your gumbos. That will feed a lot of people. Gumbo will feed a lot of people. A little bit of rice, some gumbo on the top, your fish, your crab. If you get some andouille sausage, if you're lucky, put that in. Some of that okra you've grown, it can go in the pot. You can feed a lot of folks that way. So if you start doing your preps by the seasons, what's available in the seasons out in the nature, you're not going to have to worry so much what's in the grocery store. Start storing it as it's that time. Like I said, onions and potatoes are fixing to go in the ground. If you're in the southern areas where the ground is not frozen or won't be shortly, it's time for fishing. Get all that fish protein loaded up in your freezers. And then your gardens. It's time for canning. You need to be getting your garden supplies and all of that. So we will be going down to the coast. We are going to be going the whole coast of Texas and some of Louisiana. I will be showing you how to fish, how to clean your catch, what to do with the catch, how to cook it on the beach or on the river. We'll be doing some videos about that. So our next thing to add in the freezer is our fish. A lot of you don't like fish, but do you like shrimp? It's the time to gather your shrimp. A lot of the fish houses will be having their catch. Sometimes you can catch some. Find out what the requirements or what you're able to catch in your area. Make sure you are following the fishing wildlife regulations. Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble for anything. But it's a good time to start studying that. When you go to get your fishing license, they have the little books. Start reading what you're allowed to catch, what you're allowed to keep, and be getting those things in there. So we talked about that. We talked about getting your gardens in. You can start your seedlings pretty soon. If you have your hot mats, your little cups, you can start them indoors with some grow lights. If you don't, you're going to have to be watching and waiting for when it's time for that. But like I said, start studying that. Don't use this time of winter as a time to sleep. Use it as a time to study because you're going to need to. Okay, so we talked about that. Another thing a lot of you don't know about, and I've been reading about and researching in different areas, down in Texas for sure, they have the East Texas Food Bank. I know they have one up here in Missouri too. I don't know what it's called, but I know they do that here too, and I'm sure they do it in your area. All you'll have to do is research. But what I'm going to tell you is I read the other day about the East Texas Food Bank gives a lot of produce to different ministries and I don't know, local organizations, things like that. And a lot of them are giving the excess produce away. Doesn't matter what your income is. You don't have to live in the area. There were really no restrictions on it. All it was pull up in your car, don't get out, they'll load you up so that food doesn't go to waste. So start researching that because a lot of the produce can be canned. You don't want that to go to waste. Then you'll have your produce, your tomatoes, whatever. They don't say what produce it's going to be that day. It's just drive up and see what they have because they don't know theirself until it arrives on the truck. So I'm sure no matter what it is, if you're hungry, you're going to eat it or you're going to find some way to utilize that or trade somebody else something or give it to somebody who needs it theirself. Some of the places will allow you to pick up for other families if they don't have a car or they don't have a way. So that is your way to do service and give service to other people, which we all need to pay it forward in this life. I'm sure at some point, no matter who you are, somebody has given you a hand up and it's time to pay it forward there. So just a few tips. Oh, also a lot of you say, I don't have a space. I don't have a garden area. I live in apartments. I live in a travel trailer. I live in a van. I'm on the road. Those kind of things. You still can put some tomatoes in a pot and move them around to the sunshine, wherever it is, and grow you some tomatoes, some peppers. Peppers need a lot of sun and some heat, so it wouldn't be time for the peppers yet, but you know, every little bit helps. Start looking for it. Start looking for the things. Start researching. Also want to tell you, in my travels, I always stop at the antique shops, bookstores, things like that. Not always looking for an antique, but sometimes it's an antique. I'm looking for kitchen utensils or kitchen gadgets that don't use electricity. So have them, like a blend, the blenders, things like that. They have the hand mixers. That's what I'm talking about, hand mixers. You can get those there, all kinds of things like that. You can get some cast iron there as well. But one thing I really like to look for is the books when I'm in those shops. I got this cookbook. I don't know if you can see it very well. Probably not. It's from the Fraternal Order of the Eagles. It's, how sometimes the church ladies put out a book, or the Daughters of the Republic, or the Order of the Eagles, things like that. Everybody puts in their recipes, and then they sell it for fundraisers, things like that. I got this, and it's rather thick book. I got it for $4. The reason why I picked up this one is, guess what? There is so many seafood recipes in here. The seafood gumbo is in there. I don't know if you could see that. Salmon patties. I know a lot of family members always say, how do you make the salmon patties? Or salmon croquettes, if you want to call it a different way. That kind of recipe is in here. Stuffed crabs is in here. Crawfish etouffee is in here. All kinds of seafood recipes are in here. There's chicken recipes and things like that too. But a lot of people don't know what to do with seafood. And if you haven't been raised up in that area, I was raised up on the Gulf Coast area, so I know how to cook it, but a lot of people don't. Look for the recipes. Look for a recipe book so you will know how to do that, or get with someone who does. Find a mentor. Find a mentor to do the gardening. Find a mentor to teach you the canning. Get with your elders. You know, those people who have tried to probably teach you over the years, and you say, I don't want to do that. I want to sit on the couch. Somebody's going to do it for me. No, they're not. You better get with those mentors, your elders, before they fade away and you're still sitting there and you still don't know how to do it and you're starving. Right? We don't want to be starving. Sadly, they all do leave way too soon. We think we have time to get with them, and we don't. We don't. My mother and I are going to be doing a lot of canning in the next couple months, so I'll be showing you some of that, hopefully some of the process of that. We will probably utilize, in my mother's area, there is a organization that is giving away the produce from the East Texas Food Bank. We will probably go out there and get some and can some of that and show you how to do that. Just pull up and get it. This food will rot if you don't go get it. It's not taking it away from anybody else. Those who need it will already be there to get it. What is left gets thrown away. There is no need for that food to go to waste when you can can it and put it on your shelf. All it takes is you get in your car to go get it, not sitting on the couch, like I said, waiting for someone to order you a pizza or feed you or whatever. Oh, and speaking of ordering pizzas, you can make it with that produce. I could show you how to make an Alfredo sauce. You can make a white pizza with those vegetables you grow and the flour that you're supposed to be saving. I want to show you something. If you don't believe the prices are going up, speaking of the pizza, look here. This is the ad that came in the paper today. See right here? 2 for $8, Tombstone frozen pizzas. See? This is today's ad. The sale starts, I don't know when. Well, usually Wednesday. Okay. So today is February 3rd, 2022. Yeah, 2022. Just last month, those same exact pizzas were 2 for $5. 2 for $5. Now they're 2 for $8. And I want to tell you too, my son works at the Dollar General, and he said to me 2 days ago, which was on the 1st, Mom, every day, I'm having to change the price of something, especially food. And he's in his 20s, and he's starting to worry about the price of food. Because he said, sometimes the price change is only 10 cents, 15 cents, which that's still a lot. He said, but this week, it's going up by dollars. Every day he has to change the food price. Every day. So you better be stocking. You better be putting it up. You better stop putting your head in the sand, and you better stop saying somebody else is going to save me. It's time. It is time. Nobody's going to save you. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this to light a fire. Light a fire under you. Make you understand what's happening. Find your tribe. And your tribe isn't the ones who sit there with their head in the sand. If it is, you're going to starve to death. Okay? Find your tribe. Find your mentors. Do the things you need to do. If you don't realize the things, let me just say, one of my friends told me the other day about, she lives in apartments. If she's watching this, you know I'm talking about her. She says she lives in apartments. People are breaking into people's apartments. People are stealing the tires off their trucks. Okay, and this is a safer neighborhood, or was. It's time to come out of the cities. It's time to start moving around. Time to start finding your tribe that's going to keep you safe. Okay? It's time to do something. And I can say that because I'm doing something. Is it easy? No. Is it a little bit scary? Yes, it is. We're old. We're old. And we see it and we know it. And my son is in his 20s without me saying anything, with him just going to work and watching the prices, because he has to change the price on the food. That's part of his job. And he's starting to hunt and gather. He thought his mom was a little crazy at first. Mom, why are you piling up all this food? What's wrong with you? We're not going to starve. Now he's piling the food. So if a 20-year-old boy, man, he's a man. But if a 20-year-old can see that by just going to work, y'all need to see it. Wake up. Wake up, everybody. Start gathering your food with the seasons. That's the easiest way to do it. Gather your food with the seasons. What season is it right now? What are just deer season finished? So if you could have gathered or harvested the deers, that should have been done, and they should be in the freezer or canned or whatever it is you're going to do with it to preserve that meat. If you missed out on that, now it's time to go forward for your vegetables and your seafood and your canning. We need to get ready. Everybody says this winter's almost over. Next winter will be here before you know it. This is the season. Your grandmothers were putting up stuff. All your ancestors were putting up stuff for the next season. Okay? So let's get ready. Got to get ready. Get that fish in the freezer. Get those seeds started. Get busy, y'all. Get busy. Much love, everybody.